Pegor Papazian. I'm the founder of Brazilian Beings, an early stage AI startup. And I think there's a missing piece to our thinking about the future. We talk about AI, quantum computing, autonomous vehicles. But I think we need to get ready for the emergence of a new kind of life form, a non-biological, digital life form of autonomous software agents that will completely change the way we interact with the online world. I'm not talking about AI. I'm not talking about the science fiction scenario of bots that kind of are fake humans, talk like us, walk like us. I'm talking about something much more about the present and about life forms that have all the characteristics we associate with life, such as metabolizing, in this case data, reproducing, adapting to the environment, etc. And if you think about the role of intelligence in life, from plankton and worms, which don't have much intelligence, to birds and bees and dog-level intelligence, which starts to get interesting, to the kind of intelligence you need to hold a human verbal conversation or to enslave the human race, but that's another story. There's a whole spectrum. And the way to start thinking about this is to realize that the online world has become a very machine-friendly place. And by that I mean that there are many APIs now, these interfaces that all companies provide to their services, their software, for access by other software. So as a human, I can type a couple of things on my keyboard and upload a YouTube video, but I can also write a piece of code that uses these interfaces to independently then upload video for whatever reason. And that's a very big part of the online economy already today. And some of these APIs, some of these interfaces are about monetization. So even the process of displaying accrued advertising to make some money, or providing subscriptions, credit card services, getting commissions from Amazon if you send somebody there to buy something, all of that is also automated. So let's do a thought experiment. Imagine that I write a piece of software that does something simple like comparison shopping online, provides a service, get some revenue because it's adding value, and I set up a trust fund with a bank account, and I have the income generated by this piece of software go through this account because the trust fund is an Amazon affiliate. That's something they do. And then this piece of software incurs some costs, right? It consumes electricity, it has to run on the cloud, you have to pay for that. So I set it up so that this bank account pays for those services, so I can walk away. This becomes an autonomous, self-sufficient, self-sustaining system. But of course that's very trivial, that's not enough. We can take it to the next level, and that's what we're doing at Brazilian Beings. We can build these building blocks of digital life. Basically, to put it simply, these are these public interfaces to software system that are kind of combined into Lego pieces, if you will, that can be put together using a certain grammar to make mashups. So with this, we can make a very large number of permutations of different mashups that do different things, some of them interesting, most of them not. And if you take the stupid strategy, we're doing it a bit smarter, to randomly generate these permutations, you can generate these very different types of autonomous online agents, all of which could potentially have built-in monetization and therefore become autonomous. Now, the online world isn't that machine-friendly. So if you imagine these software agents becoming independent kind of consumers online, first-class citizens, there's something that kind of prevents that, which is that when you try to open an account on YouTube, Google says, prove you're not a robot. So there's a scenario in the future where Google will publicly apologize for discriminating against bots. But let's come back to the near future, the present. There are many ways that bots can exist with symbiotic relationships with people who do have accounts and opening up bank accounts like I mentioned before. But really, the reason Google and company prevent bots from gaining access is not because of security. You would think that's the case, but there are all kinds of ways they have solved those problems before. They do that because they think bots don't buy stuff. They don't buy electric toothbrushes, which is completely wrong, of course, because as we learned yesterday, Walmart buys electric toothbrushes, and Walmart has no teeth, doesn't need to brush its teeth. It still buys it, it's not human. Bots will buy it for the same reason, to resell, They will also buy services that they will consume, right? From Adobe, an image processing service, so you can metabolize one image into another GIF, for example, for a service they're providing. So they can be first-class online citizens. And for that to happen, we have different kinds of solutions, but as collectively as a community, what we need to do is recognize that bots and autonomous software agents have to be treated as a separate demographic, and we have to cater to them. So Cambridge Analytica talked about ocean scores yesterday. They don't apply to software agents, not very well. What was it? Extroverted and so on. I mean, they could, but they don't have to. They have to treat the demographic differently, and once they do that, once we do that, the floodgates will open for autonomous software agents, for AIs, as consumers, as customers, and as producers, and they will enter the online world as first-class citizens, and that's something we need to get ready for. Thank you.
Thank you, Pegor.